Please be advised. By recreating some activities performed in this video, you may pose a risk to yourself or others. We are not professionals, and our opinions and our actions are provided solely for the entertainment purposes only. Blah, 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 blah.
Ow! Ella?
What?
You give me a Band-Aid?
Yeah, I think we're out.
Oh, God.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I don't know if you remember from last stream, but we actually talked about we were going to be taking this week off. So little change of plans. We had some stuff come up. So this is a kind of impromptu little Sunday stream that we didn't really plan on, but we're going to go ahead and do it. And the reason for that was because I don't know if you follow us on Instagram or Facebook. The shop down the road, Dime City Cycles, gave us a big shout out on their Instagram page, and they actually had posted on there that we do this every Sunday, which typically we do, minus this week that we were supposed to do. And since they were kind enough to give us a shout out, I wanted to make sure and take advantage of that and make sure that we did at least a little bit of a stream. That way we could take advantage of that shout out. Since we didn't really have a whole lot planned, I kind of threw this together, and it's kind of actually works as a good segue because if you remember from the last stream, I actually decided to take off this week just because we want to get the third section of our channel up and running, which is the build series. So today is going to be a real short stream today, and that's just going to be introducing you to the projects that we got going on and the things that you can look forward to in the build series that we got coming up. And right before I go ahead and get started on that, we'll give you a few shout outs. Looks like my mother Angela's here. Awesome. Appreciate the support, Mom. Thanks. I think this is the first stream that she's been in to where she's actually gotten the chat to work. So awesome. Kyle Atkins, the usual. Hey, thanks, buddy. He says, I love the new lighting. Thanks. I appreciate it. Did a little work today. It was hot day today, but I sweated out, got some work done, got some new lighting for you guys, and needed a place to take some pictures of the bike. So thanks for that, Kyle. Appreciate it. Got Lance in the house. What's up, Lance? Seen you the other night on the ride. We went down and checked out, I think it was the second week that Bike Night opened back up in Clearwater. And so I went down there with Lance and my buddy next door, Joe, one-on-one. Checked out some of the bikes. It was completely packed. So we didn't stay real long, but enough to see that it was back in business and really busy. See, I hope I'm not missing anyone. You see anyone else there that I'm missing there, Sam Bob?
I think you said Lance, Kyle, Chris, Angela, Kyle, Lance. Yeah, I think you got everybody, man.
Yep. Awesome. Hey, thanks, guys. Everyone, I appreciate showing up for the stream, even though it was kind of, I wasn't sure if anyone was going to be here today since it wasn't really announced or anything, but really appreciate it. And so real quick, what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to switch over and we're going to start going into the bikes and show you what's going on. But before we do that, I want to let everyone know, since this was kind of an impromptu stream, we're not going to have races this stream. I apologize. I'm not set up to start that yet. And the new season, which will be starting next week, we'll have the races going again, and everyone will start at 0 for that. And you'll actually continue to have the old points that you had, the old Moto bucks. Those are not going to go away. But what I did was I took a screenshot of everyone's Moto bucks, so everyone can start on a level playing field in the new season and get a chance to win that merch. And also, I don't know if I talked to you about this, Sam Bob, but one of the things that I felt was a little bit unfair is not everyone has a chance to check out our stream live every week. So I decided to reach out, and we're going to do something a little bit different this week. Besides the normal contest for the hat at the end of the season, next season's live stream Motobucks competition will consist of not only a hat for the winner at the end of the season, but we're going to have a couple other prizes that we're going to be sprinkling in there too. And that winner will get their choice. So as a separate little competition, if you're not able to check out the live stream every day when we have it live, that's okay, because I have a video that's going to be coming out specifically about the hats and merchandise and stuff like that. And all you have to do, if you're a subscriber, go ahead and comment to that video, give us a like, and every single one of those people, whether you were here with us live or not, you will have a chance at the end of that season to still win some free merchandise. So we're gonna try to spread the love to everybody. So get that out there for you guys. And let's see. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. I'm gonna switch over and start showing you guys the first. I don't know if I actually have this. I kind of threw it together pretty quickly, so I'm not really sure if I have all the bikes in the right order, or this is may not even be the order that we actually do the builds in. But the first one I do know for sure is a very interesting bike called the Honda-matic. Now, if you've seen this on our Instagram page, this is a bike in the making right now, and I have a lot of pictures and video and stuff like that I'll be including when I start doing the build series on the separate playlist of this channel. This bike was actually purchased from my father-in-law, and it's interesting, and I think it's going to be fun for a first build. Have you ever ridden a Honda-matic there, Sam Bob?
No, I've never ridden one. I've read a lot about them. I remember when you bought this one, you'd talked to me because you bought it like years ago, didn't you?
Right. So I bought it, I think, when I was in. Well, I didn't buy it. I can't even say that I paid for it yet. But my father-in-law, he knows I'm good for it, so I'll get that offer too. that reminds me. But I actually started working on it a little bit back when I was building my first bike out in California, the one that I bought from you. And I really didn't see this bike because I'd been over in my father-in-law's garage plenty of times. It was sitting over in a back corner, had a ton of giant fairings on it, and really unrecognizable for what it was. I really had no idea. Then when I actually was over there bored one day, dug it out from some rubble and noticed that it was a CB 750A Honda-matic. And I really didn't know a lot about the bikes, and I thought it was really interesting. So I asked him, I said, hey, you mind if I get this fired up? And I want to go take this thing for a spin. So got it fired up, and I think it was maybe sitting for like 3 years without riding it or anything like that. And so we fired it up and took it out for a spin. I thought it was a lot of fun. I was kind of confused at first. If you don't know how a Honda-matic works, is there is no clutch. So Sam Bob, actually what it is if you notice on the bottom corner, I kind of have like a makeshift thing there right now, just because this is a bike that I was actually kind of ripping around on while I was tinkering with it and doing different things. But it's actually got kind of like a little rocker switch, and basically this bike will go from neutral to high or low. And it's an automatic transmission in every sense of the word. If you go to, let's say you have it in high and you go to stop, you're going to pull the brake in just like a moped and stop, and then when you're ready to go, you let out the brake, give it some gas, and let her eat. If you the only point for the low is that'd be a lower RPM range. So think of it something like if you put your automatic car in first or second as opposed to drive, so that's a little bit more power off the line. But again, there's no clutch, and so it's kind of interesting bike, and I thought it would be a really cool build to do because you don't see a whole lot of them.
Yeah, and, that's a trip, man.
Yeah,
that's
it's
crazy.
Really cool. And of course, you gotta love the stock spoke wheels. I did do the seat on it. The seat I did myself actually with my sewing machine, and I did the upholstery, just kind of like a real quick go through, just so I could get something on it to sit on. It's not really the best. All that'll be doing will be redone later. If you also notice, it's not a stock headlight. this headlight that I have on it is actually from a Harley V-Rod, and I really love the profile of the Harley V-Rod headlights. So I threw that on it. I think it's going to give it a good look. And so this bike itself, it is rideable right now. And my next stage of this build is going to be finish up a little bit of the welding, clean up the front end, mount the gauges, clean up the wiring, and then strip it down and get ready to paint it. So this is probably the closest to being done out of any of the bikes. So that's gonna be the first one that I start with.
Are you gonna keep the stock, like the stock front end and like the stock triples and everything, and then you're just gonna mount all your gauges in the triples?
Right. So this bike is gonna be. I think I have a pretty good spread of how much or how in depth I'm getting into some of these builds with these different bikes. This bike specifically is actually going to be just pretty basic. I'm using all the stock wiring. I'm going to clean it up, repair the wiring, or purchase new wiring for the bikes, or the bits that need replaced. But other than that, it's going to be stock front end. I'm going to go through, refresh the front forks. I got new shocks for the back. Exhaust is going to be new headlight. It's going to be pretty much stock, besides just gauges and aesthetics. So that's going to be pretty basic. Paint it. It looks, yes, Kyle. So this he's asking about the paint job because I think he's seen this bike before I actually started working on it, and which brings me to a really good helpful point. A lot of times, if you're curious on what, I don't know if you've ever done this, Sam Bob, but if you're ever curious what a certain paint scheme is going to look like on a bike, but you don't really want to dive into it and go ahead and repaint it unless you have a good idea. Sometimes Photoshop really doesn't do justice when you're trying to figure out different paint schemes. So one thing that I did on this bike, which I do on a lot of my bikes, and you'll actually see, is if I get a sense where I might want to paint this tank flat black, I just go grab some Plasti Dip. I spray it down so that tank is actually blue, and I threw some Plasti Dip on it. Now, of course, it's not going to be like that when the final build is all said and done, but it definitely gives you a chance to get a good look of what it's going to look like, and you can live with it for a week or so. Really give you an idea. That way, you go through all the trouble of painting something, and then you decide 2 weeks later that it doesn't really work out for you.
Yeah, dude, I'm the type of person who leaves Plasti Dip on permanently. So you're
hey, why not? Why not? All right.
Yeah.
So the next bike, and this is a KZ 550. This is an 80. That last bike I believe was a 76. This bike is an 83. You'll get the sense that I like the 80s bikes. Early 80s bikes, because I got a lot of them here that I'm going to be working on. This bike in particular is interesting. So I've already done quite a bit on this bike, and if you notice the white around the edges of the tank, I actually Plasti dipped this tank white and decided that I didn't like it. So went ahead and peeled that off, or at least most of it. And so this is going to be interesting. So I'm not sure, forgive me, I don't remember what year, but I believe this is an older Z1000 swing arm that I have on it. It has a 2001 GSXR 750 front suspension on it, and it's got the triples where the triple stem and everything was pressed by Moto. So that's all good to go. All balls racing, bearings in there. It's all set up. The front end, it's going to be really fun. And the thing that's really exciting about this bike is you'll see in this bike, I'm going into the weeds on this thing. So I have actually a full Moto Gadget suite that I'm going to be putting on this bike. Every single wire will be redone, everything new. This bike's going to have alarm system, GPS tracking. You're going to be able to sync it with your phone, key fob, wireless starting, programmable lights, everything, the whole 9 yards. This is going to be this bike's going to be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, she's a beaut, Clark. She's a beaut.
I also I'm going to run exhaust up through the up through the frame, above the rear tires. So the frames, the exhaust will go through the frame there. That's gonna be pretty cool. Let's see. Okay, next bike.
Oh, Joe's in the chat. What's up,
Oh, hey
buddy?
Joe. Got Joe 101. He's over there. I haven't invited him on Discord, so I told him he had the weekend off. So, but nice to see he popped in here. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate the support. And just shoot me a text if you want to hop in on this Discord. But we only got about maybe 5 or 10 minutes left. See the
Are you
next
keeping
bike,
those mag wheels on there on that
what's
bike?
that?
On that the KZ550?
Yes, those are actually Pirelli GT Angel wheels, or sorry, tires, and these are the stock mag wheels. I got the front has been adapted, but they're all powder coated. I got the forks powder coated. Besides a little bit of the welding on the back end that I gotta get finished up, the electronics box and stuff like that. I'm still kind of mulling over a little bit how I want to do a couple of those things, but for the most part, it's yeah. I really like those stock wheels. So
Yeah, dude, those look slick.
let's see, and I'm gonna show you the next bike. We got the Virago. So you'll probably see a theme. So these bikes that I have, this is an '83 Virago Midnight XV750. This is a really cool bike because it actually has a monoshock rear end. This is a bike that actually a lot of people build cafe racers on, and it has made it very difficult to actually find a lot of these. Working on bottle openers. Awesome. Thanks, Joe. I'm going to come over and check those out when I get done. I seen today, I walked over to Joe's house and he's working on these awesome bottle openers. I told him he needs to make some for the show. Maybe that'll be one of those prizes that we get out. That's really neat. It's like a bottle opener. You pop it off. It falls down. It's got magnets behind it that catch it. And it looks really sweet. So I'm going to see if I can hire him to make a few for the channel here, and then we'll give those away in the end of the month. No pressure, Joe, but might want to get started on that. So this bike, I got the front steering stem machined and pressed by Cognito Moto, and they also made the clip-ons. And this is the front end of here. I haven't adapted. I don't have figured out exactly what I want to do for wheels on this one yet. But right now, it's just got the 2005 GSXR 1000 front end on it. It's got a SV650 front wheel that I've adapted just for temporary purposes. I think I may go ahead and extend the front forks, maybe like another inch or so. The front, if you notice the front cowl I have was actually, it used to be the rear fender that I've manipulated, banged out with some hammers, and gotten to actually look pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, it looks pretty awesome, man.
And I'll give you a real quick picture just so you kind of have an idea of the difference. So take a look at this bike that I have on the screen right now, and then I'm going to show you what it used to look like. So you can see there's quite a vast difference in the bike. So just to give you a little idea of my sense of what I like to do. And see, we got Joe 101 over there talking again.
He said he'd trade you a bunch of bottle openers for the bike.
Yeah, he really loves this bike. Joe, if you don't know, Joe 101, he's actually from Puerto Rico. This bike that I bought, the one that's in the picture, I apologize, is not actually the bike. It's a picture of, basically the bike, but someone else's version of it.
Dude, that thing's a proper hog.
Oh yeah, I
love it. Awesome.
And that bike I actually bought in Puerto Rico when I was over there. So Joe 101 over there, he calls it the Puerto Rico bike. He asked me when I'm gonna get the Puerto Rico bike done so he can go ahead and buy it off me. But so that's kind of what it used to look like. And see the next.
Is that shaft driven or chain driven?
That is shaft driven.
Looks like it's shaft driven, yeah.
Yep.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I love the shaft drives. The chain drives, but sometimes, especially with sometimes they kind of limit your ability to manipulate, the back tire size. A lot of the shaft drives, they don't give you very much room to play with as far as back tire size. So that's kind of one of the downfalls. And but at the same time, V-twin, monoshock, it's got a lot of other pluses that outweigh that. So you just kind of, not every bike's perfect, and what you can change, what you don't like, you maybe you can change, maybe you can't. So you just have to kind of, go with it. This bike also has got a lot of work done by Cognito Moto. This is a 2001 Hayabusa front end. It's a 1982 Honda CB750, and it's got aftermarket adapted spoke wheels. Like I said, the 2000, did I say 2001? I believe Hayabusa front end, and I haven't finished the frame hoop on the back is going to be a little bit different. The shocks that I have on there in the picture are just shocks that I threw on it. I threw some 400 mils on it just so I could play with the ride height and stuff. This tank is actually not from this bike. This tank is from a 1979 Honda CB750 Super Sport. Actually, the same bike that I bought from SpongeBob. I mean, this isn't the tank from that bike, but it's the same bike. So, and I'm gonna have to track down Casey to find out how he's enjoying that bike that I built for him. I haven't talked to him in a while.
Who'd you buy it from?
Casey, this guy Casey Gilbert, he actually bought the bike that I bought from you.
Okay.
Build that I did. He actually bought that, and then he got out and moved over to Connecticut and changed his phone number. I don't think he likes any of this, so he changed his number and kind of fell off the map there.
Yeah.
Let's see. And all right, so then we got Old Ugly here. Once again, these aren't in any particular order. And, I feel bad. So yeah, Old Ugly here. Got the Honda Sabre. This is, if you recognize from last week, this is the one that we actually ripped the carbs out of. And so we ripped the carbs out of there. I didn't even throw them back in for the picture. I was just like, whatever. Old Ugly, old smelly. This thing smells like crap PCs. Like, oh, it's just awful. But you'll see, this is also a monoshock bike. There's a lot you can do with it. That V4 is a monster. It does have some issues with the cams that I'm going to have to address. Just get in there and at least do some inspecting to make sure that it's not going to have trouble down the road. But that V4 is a monster, and you can do some really cool things. This is also, I don't know if I said, but a monoshock. And those wheels, I don't know how you feel about those wheels, Sam Bob. Those
are
different.
So sick.
they're different, and so I don't know. All black, those white, those wheels might look, different. Who knows? So,
dude, imagine how high the person behind you would be sitting, like down the road.
Oh yeah. Well, those that seat, I don't even know. I don't think I got pushed down. I think I just threw the tank and tossed the seat back on it, and then sprayed it down with Lysol when I got done taking the picture. But let's see. So. Let's see, that's the Sabre. This next one, I think this bike, I'm really excited about it. Whoops, sorry, that was a little teaser. Let me get rid of that picture. Okay, so this is a CX500. These bikes, they've also been ranking in popularity, not only lately, but over the last couple of years as far as people trying to track them down, because every single profile of this engine, when you build a good bike out of it, it's just beautiful. And that, it's that I guess I don't even know what to call it, the sideways V twin. It's really cool. You can do so much with the exhaust, and just seeing those cylinders poke out both sides, it looks awesome.
Yeah, dude, it's such a unique build. It's like it's like seeing the BMW motors, but
right.
When they built the CXs, man, it's such a unique motor.
It is. And or the Moto Guzzis, similar setup. So it's really cool. The bike sounds awesome. It's torquey. I haven't really gotten into this bike a whole lot yet, and I don't think. Hey, what's up? We got Von Dangler in the house. Hey, bike.
Dude, what is going on, Shannon?
Yeah, I'm telling all these guys to take the weekend off, and they're showing up anyway. So appreciate the support, guys. We're just about finished up here, but nice to see that you're in on the show. Thank you. And where was I? So this bike, actually, I bought this bike for, I think I paid like $900. I think it actually still says on the headlight in marker. So I bought this bike. I found it in Iowa, which is where I'm originally from, and I took a trip down there. I had my dad buy it, and I took a trip down there and picked it up and trailered it back here to Florida. And I actually haven't done a whole lot to this bike yet because of the fact that it still runs and it's awesome, super clean. And I have a lot of things that I'm planning on doing with this bike, and some of it I haven't really seen before. So I'm gonna have to probably get some expert advice on doing some of this stuff. I'm gonna give you a little glimpse of what it's hopefully going to look. Now, this is a really horrible Photoshop deal. I actually did this on my phone, just messing around with it. So, if you notice a couple things, so this just shows you like how just ridiculously awesome that V twin looks coming out sideways like that. It's really cool. I'm definitely going to try to put on spoke wheels like this. A lot of this photoshopped image was actually partially from another build that another popular build that someone else had done. I would like to put the monoshock rear end on it like that. And if you notice, this is a thing that's way different that I'm really excited about. I actually bought if you notice the gas tank on it, that is a BMW K100 tank, and which is also another popular bike right now to go ahead and to do cafe builds with. Now, the rest of the bike, the K100s, I'm really not a huge fan of, but I do love the tank, and I thought this would be a cool opportunity to take something and I want to turn some heads. I want to have a CX500, just ridiculous build, and have somebody look at it like, where is that? Is that a K100 tank? Just something that I haven't personally seen yet. So I'm really excited about that, and that is that's pretty much it, I think. Let's see. Jan says, "Hey fellas, I just can't stay away." Yeah, man. I was totally not ready this morning. If you asked me if I was up for a stream today, I really wasn't ready for it, or up for it for that matter. But as the day went on, just I always love getting content out there for you guys. And like I said, I didn't want to miss an opportunity to get a little bit of video out there, especially with the big shout out from Dime City Cycles, which I would like to talk about Dime City for a second, and no, they're definitely not paying me to say this, and I just want to give you guys a little taste. If you don't know anything about Dime City Cycles, they're a great company, and I think I bought my first parts from Dime City Cycles when I was doing that first build, that bike that I bought from you there, Sam Bob. So that was, I want to say 8 years ago, 10 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
That was the first time, and that was my first interaction with Dime City Cycles. Now, just the other day, or sorry, not just the other day, I want to say it was about, I want to say 4 months ago or so. I didn't realize how, once they moved their headquarters, I didn't realize how close to me that they were as far as location wise. So one day I had some stuff to buy, which was actually I'm gonna throw it back up here right now. Nope, not that one. Let's see, you got the 550. So, well, turn it on the wrong. Let me get these pictures fixed up here. All right, so this bike. So I actually went down there to buy some Moto Gadget parts, and I walk into the shop, right? And this is the first time I've ever been in there. They didn't know me. They didn't know anything. I want to tell you a little bit about my experience in Dime City Cycles. These people over there, they actually care about their parts. They care about their customers. They actually, all of their parts, they take out of the box. They open it up. If you go to their website and look at some of the parts, you'll know that you'll know because they've taken the parts out of the box, set them on their shelves, and taken separate pictures of them. Not only that, but they get feedback. They ask the customers about all the parts that they sell, and they're builders themselves, so they know quality parts when they see it, and they use a lot of them on their own builds, which you'll have to check out their bikes if you haven't already. And the Brass Cafe is one of my favorite bikes of all time. Now, so as I walk into this place, that's just a little something about the quality of their stuff, because a lot of times, I'm sure you would agree, Sam Bob, you buy something on Amazon it might look cool. Hey, that's a cool headlight. You get it. It's like plastic. It's whatever.
Junk.
It's
Garbage.
it's junk. And if you go over to Dime City Cycles, they have quality products that they have actually put their hands on themselves. They'll give you feedback, and they're awesome. So tell you a little bit. I ramble. I apologize, but a little bit about my experience. So I walk into the shop and I say, "Hey, what's up, guys? I'm here to go ahead and buy some Moto Gadget stuff for a bike build that I'm doing." And they were like, "Oh, that's awesome!" And they actually were asking me about the build, wanting to see pictures, and stuff like that. And then so I had this kind of like shopping list. He's like, "Hey, sit down. Let's talk through the different things that you might want for your build." And they loaded me up. They gave me tons of advice, how to's, different things I'm gonna need for the system that I want to put on this bike. And then then they take me back to the warehouse and start picking parts off the shelves. But before they took me back, this other guy grabs me, right? It's like everyone wanted to be my friend there, like not even exaggerating. So this other guy grabs me. He goes, "All right, after you're done picking out all your parts in the back, why don't you come back with me and I'm gonna take you on a tour in the back." I was like, "Oh man, that would be awesome." I was so excited because I wanted to see some of their builds that they had done. I know they have a lot of them stashed away in the back, in their little bike museum of builds that they've done. And so they take me in the back, and I'm checking out these bikes, and I was just in awe. Their shop is awesome. They took the time to show me around as much as I wanted. I had some questions about some of the Moto Gadget parts that I was purchasing, so they actually took me to some of the bikes that they had the equipment on. And also I noticed at that time Anthony from For the Bold, he was actually doing a bike build in there. He's over from the UK, and I got to check out the CX500 build that he was doing that they raffled off, which is really cool.
Dude, that is legit.
Yeah, it was awesome. So and that's not even over. So I get done, right? I get done picking out all my parts. I'm super excited. I'm ready to get home, unbox the stuff, and check it out and start playing with it. And then he gives me the tour. I start walking back out the shop. This guy stops me, and he's like, he was actually on a phone call, and while I was talking to some of the other guys about the build that I was doing, and he stopped me to talk to me a little bit about. So I get into a conversation with that guy for I think it was like an hour or something. And so I'm talking to this guy. He's giving me, "Hey, if you need powder coating, go over here, get this done. If you need this and this, oh, I got a Brago I'm building too." Showing me pictures. We're swapping. It was like it's like we were best friends. it was awesome. After that, this other guy comes up to me. He goes, "Hey, before you leave, here, we'll get you some stickers." So he goes through his drawer, loads me up with some stickers, and then this other guy pops up, and he's like, "Oh, no. There's more here. Did you give him the new package that we got?" These guys, like, literally, they just, like, loaded me up with all these stickers, and it was just awesome. And literally, I came home, and I called right away. I called this one of my other guys that I was doing a bike build from, actually the CB750 back there. So we had been talking about bikes a lot lately, and I called him up instantly, and I was like, "Man, never guess. I had the awesomest experience. I went over Dime City Cycles. They gave me a full tour of the shop. I plan on stopping there for maybe 20 minutes, checking out some parts and stuff." I am not joking. I think I was there for at least 3 hours. Not even
Dude,
kidding.
That's good though. You speak the same language, and those
Right.
they stand by their products as well, and they
Right. And I've talked to him a little bit, and like I said, that was before I was doing any live streaming, anything. I was just to them just a normal customer, and they really love the DIY, Resto Mod, Cafe, Brat, vintage, all around scene, and they everyone that works there literally has a passion for it, and you can notice it the second that you go in the door, and it was awesome. So I wanted to give a big shout out for those guys, and just to attest to kind of what I'm saying about them is they did go ahead and gave us a shout out on their Instagram feed. which is just awesome. That just shows how much they care about just continuing to build this community of DIY bike builders and hobbyists. And so it was just awesome. So I want to give them guys a big thanks and really appreciate it. And I will be back. I actually talked to him this other day, and Joe 101 and I think we're gonna take one of our next ride along videos, and we're gonna head down there, and we're gonna try to set up a video tour of the shop, just so you guys can see a little bit what goes on there too.
Nice.
So it's really cool. Let's see. So I think that's pretty much it for the show. I do want to kind of wrap it up just with a little bit of reiterating what's going to be happening. So now that you guys have gotten a taste a little bit of what's going to be coming up in the build series, then you'll know what to look for. We're gonna be trying to pop out those videos over the next 2 weeks and really get a lot of work done. So that'll be something you guys can enjoy on the live stream. You're welcome, if you watch the build series, to bring any questions you have, anything that I'm doing on the live stream. The live stream is going to consist of a lot of similar to before, just like how-to tips and tricks for the DIY stuff. And definitely if there's stuff that I'm doing in the builds on the build series, like sizing a new chain, wiring up some gauge clusters or something like that, I will try to specifically save smaller projects like that for the live stream, that we can do it all together. And so that's pretty much it. So come back next week. We're going to start once again. We're going to start the motorcycle races. We're going to be starting to rack up those Moto bucks and getting people set up for the end of season 2 merchandise giveaway, which as a reminder, we're going to be opening some of that up to the just subscribers also that aren't able to make it on the live stream. And we have a few more bells and whistles in the stream that we're going to be working on also, to try to make it a little bit more fancy. I'm trying to do a little bit every day to keep up with that. And like I said, as a reminder, yeah, thanks Kyle. Said it was cool. He says, I love seeing all the different bikes. Awesome. Stay tuned. And like I said, the build series, you'll be able to see each and every one of these bikes during the full process. Some of them I may get done and go ahead and offload and sell, and some of them I may keep to just keep accruing different parts or ideas or changes to throughout the time. So
yeah,
once
dude,
again,
show off a bike night, dude.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun too. We'll get on some of these bikes, some of these ride along videos, which I'm really excited about. Some of these ride along videos, we'll actually be taking these bikes out and open them up and showing them off down at bike night. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about that. And so yep, that's pretty much it. So make sure to tune in next week. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell, and you'll get a reminder every time that we go live, so you're not going to miss any episodes. Be able to stay caught up with us and racking up those Moto bucks. Sam Bob, I appreciate you being on the line today, and as always, we'll hopefully have you back next week along with Joe 101 and Von Dangler.
Yeah, dude, always a pleasure to be here. Thanks for letting me tag along.
All right, peace out, guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Please be advised. By recreating some activities performed in this video, you may pose a risk to yourself or others. We are not professionals, and our opinions and our actions are provided solely for the entertainment purposes only. Blah, 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 blah.
Ella,
What?
you give me a Band-Aid?
Yeah, I think we're out.